good morning, people, fellow humans. And I spell that Huemonds, colorful nuts. That's a good way to think of ourselves. So, good morning. This is about almost 6 o'clock in the morning. This is Sunday, February 23rd, 2025. This month is almost over. Next week at this time, it will be March. Right. Okay. So I've got a few more days to make something happen, but here we are, Department of Career Services, G.school, and we're going to talk about important things for spiritual stuff. Let's see. Where are we at? We are in southwestern Nevada, west of Sin City, east of Death Valley, and south of Area 51 in hard scrabble territory, elbows, open carry, people really focused on saving money, every cost, looking over what has the neighbor got, who do they think they are, type of thing, rather than a let's build a beautiful community, let's help the poor and needy. Not that. This is hard scrabble. But you can learn a lot from hard scrabble people. And what are we here for? We are here to help us on our journey through this life, where we are souls that inhabit a body, not bodies that have souls, or souls that have bodies temporarily as we prepare for the destination, what comes next. And at Department of Career Services, our goal is to help you get there in a four-part, well, let's say from four dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. The weekends, we focus on the spiritual part. That's what we call G.school. The other parts are vital, though. The physical, fitness and health. Take care of this body that carries our soul around. Be physically fit, not carrying extra baggage. Take care of what you ingest and digest. So the ladies out there at Pratt, glow up. Boom, love you. Appreciate, acknowledge you moving forward. We got to focus on fitness and health. You know, it's on the one hand, it's very impressive to see how you guys are coming together, cooking these meals. But on the other hand, the meals you're cooking are really not the kind of food that you should be eating. It should be simple, plain, vegan food if you want to be in good shape when you get to be older, if you want to be as intended. Low body fat, high endurance, ability to keep moving. These things, got to get rid of them. If you care about yourself and your body and your family and your friends, honor the gift that you have, honor the gift of the body you have. And it's slow. That's why we come back here every day to help us move forward. Just little, tiny, little improvements, better habits. Get rid of the cigarettes, get rid of the torch, get rid of that stuff. When you see it, non-consciously, you're going to want to have it. You don't need it. Okay, mentally, always be learning. A, always be. B, C, learning. Always be learning. Things are changing so fast. Now is the time to really learn how to use AI, how to use ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. It's going to be a whole new ball game, and the world is going to be defined by people who know how to use AI and people who are replaced by AI. And emotional. If you can't control your emotions, don't worry. Somebody else will, and they'll probably take you out of the game. So think about your vices, the things that your habits, for me, it's oatmeal raisin cookies. The weaknesses you have, figure out a way around them. Because if you get far along, somebody's going to want to take you out and they're going to look for your weaknesses. All right. All righty then. Okay, so we have a big show today. Big show. This is day 4 in week 4 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. And I would say for the women at Glow Up, start over tomorrow, week 1, chapter 1. I'm going to be going through it on a daily basis. So even if you're a little bit ahead, it doesn't matter. I have been doing the same 4-week program since 2012. Every week, same stuff every week. Minor little things in there, but the same 4-week program. As has everybody that has come before you. So when you see anybody that's been in the program before you, you can talk about the red wagon, the purple cow, David Foster Wallace, who we're going to talk about today, and they will know. Boom. Yep. Right. Okay. So our theme of today is This is Water, David Foster Wallace. Before we get to that, advice from an 80-year-old. What is the advice from an 80-year-old? Be a good winner. Yesterday's advice was be a good loser. Why do you need to be a good loser? So people play with you again. Why do you need to be a good winner? So people play with you again. Right. If you are not a good winner, people don't want to, oh, you suck, man. I trashed you. I burnt you. You should give up this game. People aren't going to want to play with you. And if they don't want to play with you, you're going to be on the sidelines wishing you were in the game. Be a good winner. Man, that was close. That was a near run thing. You almost got me there. I just got a little bit lucky, etc., etc. Be a good winner. In no time at all, you're going to be beating me. Put a growth mindset, plant the seeds of growth mindset in the other person. Okay, next. So that's advice from an 80-year-old. Seth Godin. What do we got from Seth today? The Mona Lisa problem. Oh, so for the people that Glow Up, and anyone else, take time, go down below, like, subscribe, click on the bell. Like, subscribe, click on the bell. Share also. It's part of helping people along. But click on the bell so every day when this thing starts, bang, you'll get a little thing and you can watch it live. You can participate in chat. All right, the Mona Lisa problem. If you want to be a great painter, perhaps you could reverse engineer what made the Mona Lisa such an important painting. You could move to Italy. You could learn about shadows and light and technique. The problem is that the Mona Lisa isn't the most famous painting in the world because of all of those things. Lots of paintings have those things. The Mona Lisa is the most famous painting in the world because it was stolen 100 years ago, was missing for a year, and was featured in the then brand new medium of big newspapers and color printing. In other words, coconut oil in there. In other words, right when the world was ready for an icon that stood for famous painting, there she was, or more accurately, wasn't. You can't step in the same meme twice. The second time the culture is different. Oh, that's a good one. That's kind of a riff on Heraclitus's you can't step in the same river twice. You can't step in the same meme twice. What's a meme? It's an idea that spreads from brain to brain. That's what a meme is, an idea that spreads from brain to brain. So you can't step into the same meme twice. It'll be different. Making the next version of something is a completely different project than creating the conditions for the first version to happen. So the Mona Lisa was a painting, then it was stolen, but because of newspapers and things, color printing, attention got focused on the Mona Lisa, which made it have a higher value compared to other paintings that could have been just as good. So it took the spot. The idea was, wow, that's a beautiful painting. It was stolen. Where could it be? Oh, we found it. Featuring the painting. So everybody knew the painting, right? Everybody knew the painting. And so the meme was that, but it was caused by the circumstances around it that had nothing to do with it. Printing press, for example, new medium of big newspapers, color printing. That was able to spread the idea from brain to brain that this painting was the greatest painting in the world. Is she smiling? Is she not smiling? Is it a she? Is it not a she? Who is that person in there? Who's it? Who's the painting actually of? Et cetera, et cetera. Okay, cool. Time is racing. Let us now talk about David Foster Wallace. David Foster Wallace was the new great American writer. Young, great American writer. Wrote a great book called Infinite Jest, over 1,000 pages fiction. And he had some mental problems. And so he would write, because he had the mental problems, he could write in a way that others couldn't write, but could appreciate reading. And today's talk, you get an idea of his writing style, where he'll go deep talking about, say, a red wagon, and he'll repeat talking about the red wagon. Then he'll put in a footnote about the design of the red wagon was created by, and he'll go on and on and on and on and on in a footnote about something having to do with the red wagon that doesn't have to do with the story. Great writer, mental illness. Got to the point where if he took his medication, he couldn't write. And if he didn't take his medication, he couldn't cope with the anxiety of life. So he hung himself. I think he hung himself, yeah. And died at a very young age, in his 30s. The last great American writer. But we have a commencement speech he did a few years before he killed himself. And it is a great thing. It's a great writing. Combines humor, a lot of depth thinking, breadth, depth. And the starting point is a story of two young fish swimming along. And a big older fish is coming the opposite direction. And just as he's passing him, the old big fish says to the young fish, "Morning, boys, how's the water?" And then as they're going along, one of the small fish looks at the other fish and says, "What the hell is water?" And from there, David Foster Wallace takes off on our default settings, concept of default settings. The things we do so much, so often, we're not even aware we do them. And really, it's the thoughts that we have, our mindset, how we see the world. And at one point, he goes off into talking about being in a supermarket after work, after a long day, when you're an adult and you're no longer in school, and this is going to become a big part of your life, is that, oops, I forgot I don't have any food at home, so I have to go to the store and deal with all of the ungood, uninspiring people in the stores. The mom yelling at her kid, the cashier, other people in line. My shopping cart with the one creaky wheel that pulls to the left. The deadening, mind-numbing music in the background. The harsh light from the fluorescent bulbs, etc. So it goes on and on in this thing of our default setting. And that having graduated from school, one of the benefits is you get to choose. You get to choose how you are. You can stick with your default setting, or you can choose something else. And then he goes down this path of the important thing to know is everybody worships something. Could be JC, the Wiccan mother god, whatever, Allah. Could be that, or it could be beauty. And he goes to say, if you don't worship a deity, then you're going to worship something. You're going to worship yourself in some way or some worldly thing. If you are concerned about beauty, you're never going to be pretty enough. If it's money, you'll never have enough money. If it's intelligence, you won't be smart enough, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We need to go on because time is erasing. So, a great talk. Why do we watch it? Why do we care about David Foster Wallace? Well, on numerous levels. Number one, just on the purely superficial level. If people, educated people, real people, cultured people mention David Foster Wallace, and you can talk about something about David Foster Wallace, your value goes up. Why do you know about David Foster Wallace? Now I'm interested in you. Okay, just on the very superficial level of getting along with other people. 2, you can learn a lot from David Foster Wallace. If you watch the video, you take it to heart, you ingest it, digest it, process it, and you use it as kind of a goad, maybe just rails to stay between, to understand other people. The next thing would be a practical thing of learning to communicate in his style. So you don't do the feel me, man. You don't do that. You can communicate in a way that's interesting to other people. You can learn to tell stories where you go this way and then you go deep and then you go deeper and deeper in the story as you pull people in. You become interesting. Okay, let's see what else we have on our hit parade for today. David Foster Wallace, don't leave home without it. We talked about Seth Godin. Faith is not taught, it's caught. Faith is not taught, it's caught. Our Joe Riley, S.J., Society of Jesus, Jesuit Prayer for Release and Surrender. Shortest, most powerful prayer in the world. This is not the place you go to, it is the place you go from. Right. That's the message for people in jail. That's message number 1. This is not the place you go to, it's the place you go from. Preparation. Okay, what else we got on our hit parade? Johnny, Ted, Seth Godin, prayer. Let's see. I don't see our prayer in here. Okay, so that's it. We're good. All right, people. Well, thank you. Watch this every day. Get in the habit. Just make it part of your daily routine. And I can promise you, if you do, your life will be better. And if you don't, you might not be here. Bonk.